Hello, in this video I'm going to pick up a DILR set from CAT 2020 slot number 2. This DILR set has got sequencing and grouping. And this DILR set is a 6 question set. So if you get this one, you're getting 6 questions. 6 threes are 18 marks, which is a lot. How do I solve sequence and grouping sets? So these are the standard analytical reasoning or logical reasoning questions, and this can be solved using a very systematic manner. So I'll explain as we see this particular set. So we have a setup that is given, and we have got 6 questions that follows. So there is question number 1 says which of the following statement is true, which who are not guiding economic students, which of the following statement is necessarily true. And then we have question number 4, which is starting with if condition. So we may not get the complete story. We've got another if condition. We've got 3 if condition. So we may not get the complete story, but that's okay. So when you look at this, you have given certain. So this is what I'm going to call the setup, and we have given some rules. So if you want to look at analytical reasoning set, the way in which you want to sort of play the set, think of this as a game, and think of this as, I'll call as a board game, like chess. So what we need to play this game are the pieces. So you've got pieces. We need a board to put these pieces in, and we need to understand the rules of the particular game. So don't worry, it's doctoral students or these are all pieces, and we have to create a board and place the pieces into the particular board with the rules and make some deductions later, right? So let's see how we can play this particular game. Let's start with what is a setup. The humanities department of a college is planning to organize 8 seminars, one for each of the 8 doctoral students A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H. So these pieces A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H is we're going to see only once. So let's write down those pieces here: A, B, C, D, E, F, G and H. Capturing these pieces onto your sheet of paper makes a lot of sense. I'll tell you why. Then it says 4 of them are from economics, 3 from sociology and 1 from anthropology department. So we've got some departments. So we have got these students here, and now we have departments. Now we have got something starting with E. We already have a E, so this is going to get confusing. So let's simply say we'll use a small letter E here to denote these departments. Now there are 4 E's. So let's just write, I need to place 4 E's somewhere into my board. There are 3 from sociology. I have to place 3 S's and 1 from anthropology department. This obviously is not necessarily in this particular order, but at least we've got the second set of pieces in. The third says each student is guided by P, Q, R, S and T. Now there are 5 more pieces. These are the guides. Now there are 5, but there are 8 students, therefore there will be repetition of these particular pieces. Let's see. 2 students are guided by P, R and T. So we need to have 2 P's to be seen in the board, 2 R to be seen in the board, and 2 T's. While 1 student is guided by Q and S. Great. Each student is guided by a guide belonging to the department. Great. So now what we now know is that each of these guides belongs to a particular department. Now here we could do a deduction which says we can see one of those department is alone. Now P cannot be part of that particular department because we need to have 2 P's. But P belongs to A, the second P also belongs to A. That's not possible because there is just 1 piece A. That's the same case with R, that's the same case with T. So one of the deduction that we can make here is that A is either Q or S. So we could write the deduction here saying that it is A would be either Q or S. Great. Now let's see what is the game, what is the board that we have used. Each seminar is to be scheduled in one of the 4 consecutive 30-minute slots starting at 9 a.m., 9:30 a.m., 10 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. So there is some sequencing that is happening. but there are just 4 slots. You have to place 8 students. Therefore, within each slot, we're going to have multiple students. More than one seminars can be scheduled in a slot, provided the guide is free. Only 3 rooms are available, and hence at most 3 seminars can be scheduled in a slot. At most 3. Students who are guided by the same guide must be scheduled in consecutive slots. Now there are lot many information that is here, but at least let's create the board. So imagine how you want to create the board. So if I am putting a particular A has to be with one of the department and has to be with one of the guide, which means in one particular, if the 3 are a group, so within each slot we can look at these groups that is being formed. So I'm thinking, let's create a simple board. We have got something at 9 a.m. Then we have 9:30 a.m. When we have 10 a.m. and when we have 10:30 a.m. Now at most we can create 3, but each slot needs to have 3 values. So let's, for the time being, write these 3 everywhere for the time being as our board. Now I can actually see there are 12 places now, but there are only 8 of them, which means 4 will be blank, which is fine. Now another thing that is also given here is students who are guided by the same guide must be scheduled in consecutive slots. So we can see 2 P's, 2R and 2T. They must be consecutive. Therefore that deduction is P and P should be a block, R and R should be a block, and T should be a block. You cannot have a P here then have a P there. That is not possible. These 2P has to be together, 2R has to be together, and 2T's has to be together. In the sense consecutive, not together, I'm saying consecutive. Interesting. So we've got the basic setup ready. Let's look at the rules. Seminars by students from economics are scheduled in each of the 4 slots. Now we've written students first, department second, guide third. So let's follow the same order and say that economics has to be in all the 4 slots. A is the only seminar that is scheduled at 10 a.m. A is guided by R. Okay, we already have a E here, and that's the only thing that is possible, which means this would all be blank. We could eliminate these 2 things, and since we are putting the students first, and we can put A would be here, and A is guided by R. At this point in time, I've taken care of 4E as a pieces. I have taken care of A. I have taken care of R, 1R. The other R, therefore, should either come at 9:30 or at 10:30 a.m. R obviously cannot be in 9 a.m. slot because it violates that particular rule. Okay. Then F is an anthropology student whose seminar is scheduled at 10:30 a.m. F is an anthropology student. We already have a E, anthropology students. F is an anthropology student, so let's put F there, the same order. So we have taken care of an F and we have taken care of the A. We already know that A is Q or S, which means this particular slot belongs to either Q or belongs to either S. We'll come back to that later for the time being. The seminar of sociology student, a sociology student is scheduled at 9 a.m. We've got one sociology student is scheduled at 9 a.m. Let's put one sociology which is scheduled at 9 a.m. Perfect. B and G are both sociology students whose seminars are scheduled in the same slot. The seminar of an economic student who is guided by the T is also scheduled in the same slot. And here we get a block. The block says that we have got a sociology student. There are 2 sociology, and which are B and G. They have to come in the same slot. And also we have an economic student who is guided by T. So that is that side. So all these have to be in one particular block. Now we know that that cannot happen in 10:30 a.m. because we already filled the 2 place with E and A. We cannot put 2S there. So this particular block can happen either here or happen there. Perfect. P is guiding both B and C. Has a student scheduled in the first 2 slot. So we have got P who is guiding B, which come there, and P is also guiding C. P has to guide C. We know that P is with sociology and therefore C is also with sociology, and these 2 block has to come one after other. It could be either in 9 a.m. slot or 9:30 a.m. slot, one of these 2 order. Great. A and G are 2 consecutive slot. we already have G there, A we already have there, which means we can put this slot here. So we have got B, G, S, S and P there, which means C, S and P has to be this side. So already we have taken care of all the S's. There's no more S to be there. We have taken care of 1P. We have taken care of G, and so therefore the only position for the next one is C, S and P. So you've got C, you've taken care of that P as well. Right, and we also know that E has to go with T. E going with T, which means that that is also taken care of. Which means now the two T has to be together, which means this also has to be a T. That has to be next to each other. There's no position here. We have taken care of that T as well. So what is left? We have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So we have taken care of all the slots. So everything is done. What is now missing? Okay, so let's start with other story. We need to have two R's that needs to be together. We already have an R here. Therefore, there is no space for R there, which means the other R has to go this side. So we have taken care of R. Now, only thing that we have to take care of Q and S. So where can they go? The position is only these two positions are available now. So we can put Q here, or S there, or S there, and Q here. Now who are left? We have taken care of Q, we have taken care of S, we have taken care of B as well. Therefore, what is left is D, E and H. So there is a slot which is here, here and here. So we know that all that will go for our D, E and H. All these are economic students, and we have filled this one. There is no more inference that we can draw. They can go anywhere. And let's look at the questions. Let's look at question number 1. Which of the following statement is true? Only one seminar is scheduled in the second slot. No, 3 seminars is scheduled in the second slot. 3 seminars is scheduled in the last slot. 2 seminars is scheduled in the last slot. 3 seminars scheduled in the first slot. 2 seminars scheduled in the first slot. The answer to the question is 2 seminars scheduled in the first slot. Done. We got 3 marks. Who all are not guiding economic students? We know for a fact that R is definitely guiding economic student, which means there is a R, I can see an R, I can see an R. Those 3 things will go. P is not guiding economic student. Q is definitely not guiding an economic student. It could be either A or S. And S is also not guiding an economic student. Answer this question would be answer choice number 3. Which of the following is necessarily true, which means must be true? Q is guiding G, not necessarily true. Q or S can guide G. H is an economic student, which will be absolutely true, because H has to be whether here, here or here. In all these 3 cases, H has to be economic students. That will be our answer to the question. B is scheduled in the first slot. No, B is scheduled in the second slot. Therefore, that goes. S is guiding F. S can guide F or Q can guide F. Both are possible. Answer to this question is 2. Now we have got if condition. We have to obviously tinker with this particular data here. In the actual examination, you probably can create one more table here, or maybe you can use draw by the side and take care of these ones, right? If D is scheduled in a slot later than Q, so the new data that is given to us, so after Q we have a D. That then means that Q cannot be here. Q has to be here. Now after Q there has to be D. D has to get there, which means this will be E or H, or this will be H or E. Okay, the question therefore is, which of the following statements are true? E and H are guided by T. So E and H are guided by T. That will be something that is true. G is guided by Q. G is guided by Q, which is also true. Therefore, both 1 and 2 is true. Let's look at the next question. Let's see another if condition. If E and Q are both scheduled in the same slot, E and Q is both schedule in the same slot. Now there are two possibilities. E can be here, Q can be there. E can be here, Q can be there. So those are the two possibilities, which means one of them has to be here. So D or H has to go there. E is either getting here or E is actually getting there. And other thing, H or D will go somewhere else. The question is, which of the following best is the relation between DH and T? At least one of D and H is guided by T. That will be true. Both D and H be guided by T is not necessary, because we can have our E here and then our H or D can be there. So that's not necessary. The second one is not necessary. Oops. Neither D or H is guided by T is not true. Exactly one of D is guided by is also not true, because we can have an E here and Q being there, and we can have an H or D is there, that both of them can be guided by T. Answer to this question is answer choice number 1. If D is scheduled in the slot immediately before Q, so immediately before Q we have got D. Now that we know for a fact that cannot happen here, so which means that forces our Q to be here. Now it is D is forced to be here. That's it. Which means our E or H or E has to come there. Which of the following is not necessarily true? G is guided by Q. G is guided by Q is true. D is guided by T. D is guided by T is true. F is guided by S. F is guided by S is true. E is guided by R is not necessarily true. E can be either guided by T or E can be guided by R. So answer to the question is 4. Now what have we learned here? The thing is that if you're looking at questions like these, if you're systematic, if you have a set process, you play it like a game, put all the pieces in place, look at create a nice board, you can actually nail these kind of questions. I hope this made sense. If you have any question, please post them in the comment box. I'll be more than happy to resolve those queries. Bye.